Hello everyone, let's talk about salaries, various statistics in Lithuania in 2022, and at the end I will dig deeper into other interesting data. So this is agenda, read it offline. Average salaries according to data from manualga.lt. The same as last year, but we can see that salaries have increased by 14.6% for manual QA and a whopping 39.8% for automation QA. This is interesting, probably due to very high maximum salary in automation. For comparison, average salary in the whole of Lithuania is roughly 1,000 euros netto. So the results. The survey received 279 responses, of which 263 were full employees, 13 independent contractors, and 3 part-time employees. Answers to the questions, how did you end up in QA, were too random to be put into reasonable presentations, so they were renamed to other for more convenient visualization. Since we thought there will be more QA contractors, their averages were not included in all upcoming data and will be shown in a separate slide at the end. So, let's get ready to rumble. Without further ado, here are the numbers. Here you can see the data of full-time employees only, no contractors or part-time employees. Number of respondents in particular roles and seniority positions. All data is net average salaries in euros. Here you can see the data from last year and this year in comparison. And I hope it's easy for you to see the differences, but generally we can see salary increase for all positions, and the exception is the same as last year, automation leads. They are outliers, they were the outliers in the last year. So in this slide you can see the average ages per senior positions. Worth to mention is junior QAs, which average decreased significantly because this year they can select 0 and last year there were no 0 options. Seniors are getting promoted earlier. Lead average is also lesser, but probably because last year we didn't have a manager as an option and the managers fell down under lead positions, and this year we have a separate position for managers, so probably we can compare it next year. This is numbers heavy slide. We can see the distribution of QA by experience in years to seniority level. This year we had 0 as an option for juniors, so we can see that the third of junior QAs have less than 1 year of experience. There is one mid QA with more than 10 years of experience, and the first senior QA starts at around year 3, but most of them have more than 10 years of experience. Leads start at 5 years, except a single person. Congratulations, random QA lead. Managers start at year 7. Now we start with new information introduced this year. First of them is company size. Here you can see that most people are working in big companies and all others are more or less equally distributed. Here are average salaries in different size companies by employee count. Smaller companies don't have managers, which makes sense, and lead salaries are highest probably because lead is working as a manager too. Junior, mid and senior QAs have similar salaries, while lead and manager salaries differ. QA distribution by company type. International companies versus non-international. Most QA work in international companies and some people don't know if they work in international company. It's interesting how many international versus non-international companies there are in Lithuania. Does company size change salary average, you may ask? And the answer is yes, they do, for some. Junior salaries is not impacted by company type, mids a bit, but going from senior QA and above we can see around 600 euros increase in salaries. Also, those who didn't know, from average we can say that they probably work in international company. How did you end up in the current company? And we were surprised that the options were selected quite equally, and we didn't thought that the recommended by a friend will be such a popular option. Probably bonuses are working their hours. So the averages don't show much variation in junior and mid-levels, but seniors who apply themselves earn most. Surprisingly, it looks like HR does not hire any managers, or managers are not hired but promoted within the companies. Here we wanted to see how one becomes a QA. From data, we see that most QA have university degree in related field. Self-taught and paid courses have similar values. Many people choose other and entered custom value, which were unique, and we decided to group them by changing them to other. So in short, under other are free courses and vacation schools, just so that you know. QA distribution by background chart, where we see that the most paid courses graduates have less than 4 years in experience, probably because they were little to no QA schools before that. Other follows the same pattern with an exception in 9 years. Self-taught and university graduates are equally distributed in year, with university graduates dominating 10-year range. Average salaries by background, self-taught in junior and mid earn most, which makes sense as they were most motivated to learn themselves and seek the job opportunities. We can see anomaly in seniors and lead positions for paid course graduates, probably due to low number of respondents in the survey. Contractors. We honestly thought there are more contractors in Lithuania. Due to low number of respondents, we only showed the data for manual and automation QA in junior, mid, senior, and lead positions. Here things become interesting. Let's see if there is a gender gap in QA salaries. Interestingly, this survey was more popular among women than men. Thank you, ladies. Here we see respondents by gender, seniority, and QA specialization. Among survey respondents, there are no mid-automation specialists among men, and there are no women in automation above mid-level. To show more authentic information, we excluded automation from this comparison. Sorry about that. In manual testing, we can see that women earn a bit more in junior and mid positions, but way less in senior and lead positions. For senior positions, this is due to the fact that for males in senior manual position earn extremely well, and total number of people here is low, so we can't say for sure. Lead average salaries also does look concerning. Here we compare men and women which do both manual and automation testing. In this specialization, the story is different, and males earn more in all seniority levels. Males in lead position earn significantly more. According to the feedback from last year, we added a question for hardware testers to learn if there are hardware testers and what are their salaries. There was not a single respondent testing hardware only, but there were 11 people doing mixed testing, both hardware and software. Compare their averages to software testers, we don't see any significant differences. Sorry about that. Most respondents were from major Lithuanian cities, and as we see, the salaries in Vilnius is a bit bigger than one in Kaunas. Worth to mention managers who earn significantly more in Vilnius compared to Kaunas. And people working abroad earn more as expected. Sadly, there are no juniors, mid and senior salaries to compare Lithuanian salaries to abroad ones. Here we see comments from people. Sadly, there are way less comments this year than there were last year. Maybe because survey was in English. However, some comments were in Lithuanian and we translated them to English. So no worries about that. So the comments. We can speculate probably that the development knowledge is decreasing, especially from the junior QAs or no experienced ones. The next comment says that salaries has exploded. Here is a big comment rant, which you can read and you can agree or disagree with it. You can maybe discuss that in comments if you like. The 3 comments were random ones. Worth to mention that one comment is that part of the daily task also include customer support. Maybe more QAs does this too, I don't know. This is new to me. And the last part of the comments is we acknowledge that some of the questions were maybe not put that well and they were misleading, but doing the survey is a live process and we will improve you next year. So this is the last slide, and I present you my partner in crime, Christina, who decided to stay silent.
But not this time.
But not this time. Yep, it's not barksome, so please be gentle with feedback, but feedback is welcome. And please do leave it in the comments. It helps us a lot. Thank you.
Bye.